What is good, YouTube? Quinway basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're gonna talk about the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic, Chris Taps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr., and you got guys like Trey Burke and so many guys that fit in this team. I was high on the Dallas Mavericks coming into this season, and they have got back in the playoffs, and they look a lot more enthused. They moving the ball, and they look a whole lot different even compared to last year, which is a good thing. The difference is they still in the same situation where they're at the bottom of the West. Obviously, if you're a Mavericks fan, you would hope they will be higher. But this is the situation that they in, and this has led to the rumor of them going for Andre Drummond, a guy that has been pretty well in the NBA, being an all-star, in the NBA also being a guy that's giving you 17 and double-digit boards every single year or close to it. And you look at this team, and they're missing one piece. Obviously, they haven't been able to get over the hump. They haven't really become a serious contender in the NBA just yet. But they still have a young core. And Porzingis look amazing to me. He looks very loose. He looks very free. And that's pretty good for him because he's getting touches all over the court, whether it's in the post or in the mid range or even in the 3 point area. Porzingis look a little bit more versatile, and he looks a lot more loose. Luka, he's freeing himself up. You know, he's still taking a lot of tough shots. He's still taking a lot of step backs. I think he should mix it up a little bit more if he wants to be a little bit more efficient. But it's up to him because I see that people have been telling him that he still does whatever he wants to do anyway. But a lot of that is coaching. A lot of that is allowing it. And if you're going to allow it and he feel like he can take it, that's the kind of letting your superstar do things like that. But the 3 point shot has rose. Still not where you would want him to be at, considering that he shoots a lot of them. But at the same time, Luka still has been basically fantastic. All-star starter and an all NBA caliber player for the second consecutive year. And he hasn't really took that huge leap this year like I thought he would coming into the season. But he also hasn't declined significantly either. He basically stuck to his bread and butter and his style of play, and he still trusts his teammates. He lets them make plays. He passes them the ball, and he plays team basketball for the most part. He just needs to figure out his offense a little bit more um, when it comes to shot selection and actually making shots and taking shots. That to me is not a healthy diet for him because he's not really making them. So it's not like he's making them. He's not. So I think he should definitely cut a lot of those out and probably mix it up a little bit more in the scoring department. But other than that, when you look at Andre Drummond, the problem I have with them trying to acquire Andre Drummond is mainly because this man is wanting money. And it's the same Oladipo problem where Andre Drummond can't be the best player on your team. He also most likely can't be the second best player on your team. And Andre Drummond, I don't believe, can take this team from being a playoff team to a contender. And that's why I was always anti Oladipo to the Mavericks because if you get Oladipo, I don't think he's that guy that catapults this team into championship contention. And if he's not that guy, why would you pay him to be that guy? And if you're paying him to be that guy, you can't get over the hump, you're stuck because you have to eventually play Luka, who is a max caliber guy and is going to eat up the rest of your cap, and then you're not going to ever really contend for a title unless Luka takes two more leaps and become the best player in the NBA, which he might. He's not there yet. But at the same time, the Mavericks are in an interesting situation where they have a duo that fits well and play well, and they've been doing fantastic this year. The biggest problem with this team is finding what do they need. A lot of us do believe it's a wing. A lot of us do, especially if Luka's going to be the primary decision maker and the primary playmaker, which he has been fantastic since day one in the league. and that's his strongest ability. The problem is getting that guy, and that's why Dallas has been stuck to me, from being a playoff team to a contender. Because when you look at the names that have been available, it's not one guy that I would say that guy belongs on the Mavericks. That's why I'm kind of happy that Mark Cuban is playing a lone game right now because of the salary cap. You have so much money that you can spend, and you have so much money you can take in. And they have a lot of good guys that love playing with Luka, and Luka has the right pieces around him with the shooters and guys that can create a little bit, while also having a big that can play on and off the ball, which fits what Luka is trying to do. So they got the duo and the fit together. Now they got to figure out who that guy can bring this team to the next level once Luka hits his level. And that's the important part about this team is staying together, continuing to build good habits, going out there competing, and trying to see how far this duo can take you until that piece come available. Because it's either you're going to have to sign that guy in free agency, which I don't see this summer being available, and then you're not bad enough to the point where you can get the guy through the draft, which they was able to get Luka for that prime example, being a top 5 pick and able to get the trade to go up to get Luka at 3. That's just not available either for them. So they're in a situation just like Boston where you got 2 all-star caliber players and you really want to find a way to win with them, but you also don't want to rush it to the point where you get yourself stuck where you're not going to be able to be a championship team unless you move one of them. You want to continue to grow with these 2 guys and eventually make that move when these guys are hitting their peak of their power. So when I look at this Dallas Mavericks team, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from them. When I look at this Dallas Mavericks team, I'm enjoying watching them play. I watch basically every game that they have played within the last 3 years. And I have seen Luka, even offensively, get a little predictable because you know he wants to drive for the floater, or you know he wants to do the step back. And if you don't do the step back, he's going to pass it, or he's going to drive it and try to do the floater or try to get a foul. But that hasn't been efficient because the 3-point shot has been inconsistent. So you can't really rely on that from every game at this point in his career. And with him not being a great finisher or a great mid-range shooter like a Kawhi or a Kevin Durant, he kind of, just lives and dies if the shot goes in. So it's interesting to see where the Mavericks go from here. But if I had to be honest, Andre Drummond, that's not the guy that they need because this guy is going to demand 15 plus in salary, and Porzingis, Drummond, and Luka isn't going to cut it because once Luka contract comes up, he's definitely getting the max. You're stuck because I don't see Andre Drummond signing a 1-year deal when he actually is a starting caliber center in his league, but he's not the center that you need for this team. He's a great rebounder. He's a great player in his own right, in his own role, in his own position, but he's not the piece that makes this team the contenders that they want to be. We love what we see from this team, and we respect this team in the Western Conference, but winning a championship is just not there. I don't see the player, I don't see the free agent currently right now that I can say, take that guy, put him in. They're just not there. And I feel the same way about the Celtics. There's not one guy out. Well, they want to get LaMarcus. There's not one guy out right now that you can say, put him on the Celtics and they're going to win the title. The guy that I could say that about will be Rudy Gobert, but he got locked up by Utah. He's not available. And I look at the Mavericks the same way. I look at the contracts, I look at their future, and I look at what's available, and I look at what's available through the trade market. The Mavericks are stuck right now. They got 2 young guys that play well together, like playing with each other, and have good futures as a duo. The problem is no guy that can fix the situation and make it significantly better without being committed and being overpaid. And if that's not available, then why rush and make that decision when it's not going to increase your chance of winning the title? Making Drummond trade will make you a better team, when it comes to playoff standings. But once you put them in that contract and you lock down to them, is Andre Drummond, Kristaps Porzingis, and Luka enough? No, it's not. It's not enough to win the championship, and that's why you don't do it. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, ending the video. I'll see y'all tomorrow.